A little bit more, yeah. That's why you have the espresso.
To be honest, I like the start, like like a bit.
Like a cold open kind of thing, yeah, before we actually start.
Yeah, I
It's
think
always like
I
that,
think it's
man.
nice.
I like it too. I like it too. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to
Hello.
session one by the Epigeeks, the podcast for geeks by geeks. That is so corny to say, isn't it? It's so
I
cringe.
mean, we are a bit cringe. We are millennials.
We are millennials.
Millennials are actually a bit cringe.
Yeah,
I have
probably.
to admit.
Absolutely. Probably by the time this episode airs, I'll probably be 35.
Actually, yes. Happy belated birthday.
Most probably. Thank you
Then,
so much.
yes. Well, not most probably. Like we know for a fact
Exactly.
that is going to be
That is
after
going-
your birthday. You're gonna
definitely,
be
for sure.
35.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Interesting.
We got old
Yeah, we got all gracefully.
from the last time that we recorded a podcast. No. Joking. Well, welcome to session one. Welcome to another episode of session one. Kurt, so what are we gonna talk about today?
Here's the thing. Today, I think we should be talking about our favorite classes.
Okay.
Now, when we
It's
say
nice,
favorite
it's nice that we are
classes,
pretending that we don't know. Like, what are we gonna talk about
Oh,
today?
no.
Oh my god.
we don't know.
We don't know, but we actually do know.
We do have a plan. We keep saying that we have a plan.
Mhm.
It's like at this point, it's like we're trying to make ourselves believe we have a plan.
Yeah, we keep repeating it to ourselves just to
Yes.
convince ourselves that we are in control of what we're doing.
Exactly. We have a Trello and all. That's how
Yeah.
organized
We are kind of organized. Thanks to you, to be honest. I have to be very honest. I have to give credit where credit is due. And I repeated these multiple times to Kurt, saying, like, I put a lot of creative energy in these. I put all my creative energy in these, and obviously you do as well, creative wise. But I think organizing thing is really not my shtick. Like, I am an improviser
and that's the funny
to
part.
the heart.
So am I.
But
this
you're
forced
very
me-
but you're very good at structuring things.
This
Yes.
forced me into, like, this whole project, the whole Epigeeks project forced me into this kind of like paradigm where I have to do this because otherwise I will lose control and things will spiral and we will both burn out. Like, I've been there before. But anyway, that's not the point of today. But so yeah, thank you so much for the very kind compliments.
No, it's,
Today,
it's
I
the
think
truth.
today I think it's a good opportunity to talk about our favorite classes. And right off the bat, from the get-go, you're going to have a problem with this because
I have a huge problem.
all his characters are favorite characters, while mine, there's a specific class which is very favorite of mine, and I do have it in front of me here today. Now, this is the 2024 PHB.
By the way, how beautiful is that cover? Can we show, like, can you turn
yes,
it around?
please,
So, I mean, if you have never seen the alternative cover, these alternative covers are amazing.
If I can ask you a favor, yes, there are the
Yeah,
other
there are-
two
there
over
are the other
there.
two
So
that are
feel free
also
to get them.
beautiful.
We can show
They
them.
do
also.
deserve to be showed off.
And I was lucky enough to get these because I don't believe they're in print anymore. Yeah, just leave them there. It's fine. Those are the 2024 edition. Like, when we
2014.
2014, sorry. This is the Dungeon Masters guide. We can actually show it a little bit closer. Oh, sorry, this way. Like that. We also have the Monster
Manual.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, the
This
cover
is
is
my
super
favorite.
cool.
And
It's super
Here's
cool.
the thing. So, the PHB, I think this is the one we got locally. I found this locally at one of the game stores here in Malta.
We want to shout out
Not
out
yet.
to the
Maybe we get sponsored.
not sponsored. Still not sponsored.
No, I'm kidding. I got
If
it
you want to sponsor us,
Oh god, we
just
got it
reach
from
out.
Games Plus. They're friends of ours anyway. I mean, a few
so shout
friends
out
of
to
mine.
Games Plus.
Yeah, they're not sponsored, but they're
If
friends
they want to
of ours.
sponsor Games Plus, hey, wink wink.
We got this one, the Monsters Manual. I think we got it abroad. We got this from MCM London last May.
Okay.
So we were in London, MCM 2025, yeah, May. And I managed to find this. I wanted to get a few other. There was the Rime of the Frost Maiden.
Okay.
beautiful alternate cover. But
Oh yeah, the alternative cover is
oh my, it
so
was
cool.
so beautiful.
It's the one with the face of the with the
Yes.
horns and stuff.
They had like some other ones that were Candlekeep Mysteries and all the stuff.
Oh my god.
They were amazing, but they were like 60-70 pounds each. And the guy selling them was like, oh, you know, because you can't find them anymore. And I was hoping like they had like retail price because like they don't know what they're selling. The guy
Nope.
really knew what he was selling, and I couldn't bargain. So this one we got from London. This one, Jade actually got. Hello, Jade. By the way, she's behind the camera.
Yeah,
as
welcome
always.
back. Welcome back to Jade as well.
As always.
She will always be here. So
Yes. She got this for me as a gift. You know, we buy gifts for each other every once in a while, you know, just to be nice to each other.
Nice gift.
And this was a very nice gift.
Yeah, indeed.
Very nice.
And I mean, the cover on this one is also very sick, to be honest.
And yeah, but the PHB, we got it locally, and I was very happy with the PHB. Yeah. So anyway,
going back into
again,
the PHB, because the outside is nice. What's inside is even better.
Nicer.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our favorite classes and
Okay.
why. Do you want me to go first? Or maybe
Well,
I
you can go first because you do
I know
have
exactly what I'm talking
actually.
about, yeah.
You have told me before. I mean, I've played with you for a while, so
yeah.
I've seen you playing this class.
Yes, it is in fact the Warlock.
Yes.
Now, Warlock is one of my favorite classes to play, and here's the thing about me. Whenever I play role-playing games on computer and PlayStation consoles, whatever that, I usually play full casters.
Okay.
Okay, I like the full caster, high intellect kind of thing, but you will find this a little bit contrasting when it comes to D&D, because obviously those of you who know how a Warlock plays, he's not a full caster at all.
Mm-hmm.
He's barely a quarter caster.
I mean, he's technically a full caster. He just have a different.
Yeah, but okay, so
different casting, spell casting.
Exactly, but for the most average player, a Warlock will only have 2 spell slots to spend.
Yeah.
For those of you who play till level 20, you will have 4. But still, that's not a lot of spell slots to play, especially for someone who likes to play caster. So why do I like the Warlock? Now, the Warlock's narrative in general is that there is a patron.
Yeah.
Okay, so to bring everyone up to speed, when we're talking about casters in D&D have different origins for their powers. So we've got the wizards who learn magic, wizards who study and become wizards. You've got the sorcerers who are born with their powers. It's like in their bloodline, you know. And then you've got the warlocks. And warlocks is something which is granted by a higher power, a patron. It's kind of like the arcane version of a cleric in a way, in the sense that cleric answers to a higher deity, while the warlock answers to a higher power, not necessarily a deity.
Yeah. Most of the time, he's not a deity.
Exactly. Yeah. It could be, most of the time, it tends to be not benevolent in the sense like, in the conventional sense, but it could be an entity that is out for their own good.
Yeah. I mean, and there are celestial patron warlocks which have a benevolent patron, but the majority of the patrons, they are not very benevolent. There is the fiend one, there is the great old one, there is the Fae.
Yeah,
a Fae warlock is very cool. It's so good in 2024.
Exactly, but it's my really favorite from all of these, and we'll talk a little bit about the Warlock as well today, is the Great Old One. Now, why is that? So, the Great Old One Warlock, to me, represents something which is the unknown, the horror part of reality, like the big depths of space, like the feeling you get when you're reading about the deepest places of the planet. Like, have you ever gone on Wikipedia and read about the Mariana Trench?
Yes.
And like the depths of it. And we don't know.
Listen, I am terrified about it.
Exactly.
I am horrified about. Listen.
Exactly.
As a species, we have gone only a certain depth.
Yeah.
And then we have decided to stop and go towards space.
Yeah.
That means that down there is some stuff.
Well, there have been some documentation of it, but like
there's some
the feeling of
stuff.
like, to me, like reading about Challenger Deep, which is the deepest place on the planet, like reading about the kinds of creatures that can live there. It's like this almost like uncanny feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uncanny valley kind of feeling.
If you see but even if you see just anglerfish.
Exactly.
How horrifying are they?
Exactly. So imagine that.
15 meters long squids.
Imagine like that kind of horror coming from this alternate plane of reality. That's why I like the Great Old One. It's very Lovecraftian.
It's extremely low. Yeah, I mean, it is the representation of the
Exactly.
Lovecraftian creature
Exactly.
in Dungeons and Dragons, basically.
Exactly, it is exactly that's exactly it. And typically, I try to play, but I like a particular kind of patron where it's not just horror, just like Cthulhu, even though he's not technically an old god, but like Cthulhu as a totem sort of
Cthulhu-ish.
thing. Yeah, what I like is the Great Old One with reserves of endless knowledge, which is exactly how it is typically
Yeah.
narratively created in this like setting, you know. So if I were to talk about my favorite character, the character I play all the time and the character that is available in all my campaigns, I've mentioned him before, I'm sure, it's Arosavel.
Yeah, in other episodes,
And
yes.
Aros is, as an origin story, started from World of Warcraft. I used to roleplay Arosavel in World of Warcraft as a character there. I had a dog that was named Aros, in
Aros,
fact. I
yes.
do have a tattoo with Aros on, and that saving throws from D&D as well, just in case you were concerned that I might not be enough of a geek.
Yeah.
So Aerosoft started in Warcraft, was ported over to Dungeons and Dragons, and as a Great Old One Warlock, his patron is Avitus. I created the patron known as Avitus, and Avitus is the god of forbidden knowledge,
Okay.
or at least the entity responsible for forbidden knowledge.
knowledge.
I'm not spoiling anything for any of my players who play my campaigns, but essentially Avitus is this like transplanar entity in his own dimension called the Library of Avitus. No, sorry, the Library of Avitus is the new name. We used to call it Apocrypha back then, but it was too Skyrim-y. So I eventually called it, I believe, the Great Library of... I think it was the Great Library of Avitus.
Did I have some sort of
You
encounter with that?
No, not necessarily. No, and we'll talk about your encounter. I hope to talk about this
I
stuff.
remember something about that, but
It wasn't with Avitus. Okay. So Peppe was in our old campaign that we used to have on the Epigeeks. Yeah, the live play. Peppe's first character that he role played was Exash Kelevra, and Exash Kelevra came from his own like demi playing kind of thing. But you were not with Avitus. You were with Basgoth.
No, I was not referring to that. I thought that Avitus was one of those two female figures that I've met. That one was related to Aros.
No. You were talking about two other.
That was like a goddess. One of them was a goddess.
You actually had the run-in with Caspia.
With Caspia, yes.
And Caspia is the goddess of life kind of thing.
Yes.
The goddess of life, I think it was like in Yukabai, and Ashan herself.
Yes.
That was it.
That is correct.
But that's something like as a side backstory to your character that you played, Nathaniel. Right?
Sorry.
Yeah. No, but Avitus himself is like this entity who was responsible for collecting all the knowledge in existence in his plane. It's like this massive like library that is his domain. Okay, but there are different parts of it. Like there's like these there's this massive ocean of ink. Right, on top of it are like platforms with bookshelves and scrolls falling into them, and like these denizens of like these husks of creatures, and like these have like their whole point is like writing everything about existence. Like so, they're constantly writing in this like giant library. There's this keeper Mordobolg. He's like
we haven't played D&D in so long.
Yes,
we need to play D&D.
This is an episode in and of itself. Like literally, like the Library of Avitus, the Black Library of Avitus is a whole episode of this podcast on its own, and I can talk endlessly about it. So, but anyway, going back to the Warlock, that's why I like the Warlock, the Great Old One.
Because it's a full caster.
Yes.
Even though it doesn't play as a typical full spellcaster. No. And obviously your favorite is the Great Old One.
Yes.
But I would say, before you were mentioning of liking the high intellect kind of character. Yeah. Meanwhile, the Warlock is not necessarily like that.
No, in fact, it's very high charisma typically.
High charisma, and it doesn't really rely on other stats apart from charisma. Like you might have a 5 in intelligence. Yeah. How does that work out for you?
Yeah. So typically, I try to play my Warlocks in a way that is they're either seekers of knowledge, so they may not be knowledgeable themselves.
Okay.
Or they are keepers of knowledge, so I would like put in a high intellect just narratively, of course, like they would have a high intellect, not necessarily because it's useful for their character, but because narratively that would make sense. In fact, typically all my warlocks are very low strength,
Well,
mid wisdom, obviously, that sort of thing. But
yeah,
also
they make questionable choices.
Yes.
So the low wisdom makes
Exactly.
sense.
Exactly. But also, like, I also like taking Pact of the Tome for my warlocks because I like to play my warlocks in a very utilitarian way.
Yeah.
The bread and butter of any warlock is an Eldritch Blast. If you're not casting Eldritch Blast every turn to attack, if you're not attacking with Eldritch Blast, unless you're Hexblade,
Yeah.
you're not doing warlock
Yeah,
combat
you're
right.
you're not doing justice to the warlock.
Exactly.
It's- they heavily
they
lean
rely on Eldritch Blast. So I used to use a lot of my spells repertoire in a very utilitarian way, like portaling
sense.
around, teleportations, blink, misty step, dimension door, those kinds of spells.
You might love actually the Fey Warlock.
I do love
Because
the
the new Fey Warlock has a lot of teleportation, a
I
lot of
know.
effect that happens, like control effect or like fear effect that happens when they teleport. So
But in fact, I like to have my warlock as the kind of, okay, we're in deep shit now. This is the character to kind of take you away from all this shit now. We can debate about honorable escapes later, but
Yeah, sure.
like I'm doing this. In fact, my peak warlock moment was when I used to play Arasavel with you as a player. And he had the stuff of the Voyager stuff.
yeah, I mean, to be honest, take a warlock and give him any stuff, like any magical item that gives them extra spells, and the
Yes.
warlock goes like from
Boom.
being good to being incredible.
S tier.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I love that. And remember how many times we needed to travel around the continent
Yeah,
and just
we were
boom,
traveling a lot.
in that
That Voyager
campaign.
stuff was great.
fun.
Actually, I don't know if any of my players is gonna look.
I love the Voyager stuff, man.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I've included the Voyager stuff in both my campaigns
I love including it in my campaign as
because
well.
it's such a useful item, man. Because obviously, and not as a warlock even more. Because as a warlock, okay, you recover your spell slot on a short rest. It's
Yeah,
true.
but in reality, how many short rests do you take in a campaign? Like,
Like,
if
in
you
my
play a good
campaigns,
campaign, in Strahd you have to.
days are very long.
Yeah, Strahd
So
you have to.
You do take. My players take at least one,
Yeah.
sometimes even two short rests per day.
Yeah.
Because obviously days are pretty long and pretty exhausting.
Yeah.
Like I try to challenge them as much as I can. Obviously not every day.
Yeah.
But in day that they actually are active and outside and,
Yeah.
and adventuring and stuff.
Yeah.
And giving a warlock something like the Voyager stuff makes it so much better because it frees them from having to pick those spells specifically to teleport, to misty step,
Yeah,
to,
absolutely.
and burning
Absolutely.
those spell slots, which are just two for
Even a
most
simple,
of your
even a simple
career.
reaction like a shield
Yeah,
takes up a spell slot, but
Yeah.
you need it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that you have to have in your repertoire in case of emergency, something like that. Like when you're starting off, a spell like, for example, Armor of Agathis.
Yeah.
Is if you don't have it like as a boon or something like that. It's useful. So the way let's talk a little bit about the Warlock. The way the Warlock works. So as we said, they're not full casters in the sense that they don't have a lot of spell slots to their ability, but they do have Eldritch Invocations. And these Eldritch Invocations, what they do essentially is they either enhance some of your features or some of your ways to play as a Warlock, or they just grant you outright new abilities.
yeah.
Okay?
Which is
like
in many cases are extra spells.
exactly like
Spells
for
that you can
example,
cast,
one of my
amount of times per day.
I always take Armor of Shadows as an invocation. I like to
pretty
play
good.
my
It's pretty
warlocks without armor. I like to play my warlocks in robes, knowledge seekers, like wizards that never got to be wizards kind of thing, So having mage armor cast on yourself without expending a spell slot is amazing. You get a boost to your AC while also kind of like not having to cast it. I love taking that.
I find it a very useful invocation, even though I usually never choose it. Because when I play, this is the thing, I love the Warlock, and I am 100% with you on the fact that Warlock has not only an incredible flavor as a class, but has an extremely unique flavor as a class. I would say it's probably one of the classes that has the most flavor of all. And we have
Umami.
debated it has an umami to it. But we have mentioned this in previous episodes.
Yeah.
That we have different stance
We do.
about building characters.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's why Warlock is my favorite class to multi-class.
Yeah.
Because I love having someone who has its own thing
Mm-hmm.
and then happen to become a Warlock.
Yeah.
Like I love to
Yeah.
be a Paladin and then something happened during the campaign and you make a pact
Yeah.
with something either voluntarily or involuntarily, and then you become Warlock because it gives that extra thing.
I will be honest with you.
Uh-huh.
Since we had our discussion about multi-classing, like offline, not on this podcast, you framed it in a way which made it like, okay, we joke a lot about you multi-classing and me not liking it, but you framed it in a way which makes it very easy, or at least easier for me to swallow, right? When you look at multi-classes as a lot of different classes that I don't like. But when you look at multi-classes, a new paradigm for a class, it's new version of a class, or like a new class in and of itself, you know, which is a cross between a paladin, a warlock, a druid, for example, or whatever. That for me makes it easier to accept, okay, because it has narrative backing.
But that's the point of at least for me. That's the point of multi-classing. When I multi-class, I never look at I want to be this. I want to be two things.
Yeah.
Like this is one thing. It's just a new thing composed of this and this.
Exactly.
Like for example, if you take like I had an idea for a character. I think I spoke to you about it. Which was gonna be some sort of a green knight.
Yeah.
Which was a paladin ranger multi-class.
Oh, perfect.
And it was a paladin oath of vengeance, and I think it was a ranger. I think it was like a hunter or something and was like and it was of elven lineage.
Yeah.
So it was literally like a forest knight that was going hunting.
Yeah.
Certain creatures.
Yeah.
So that's I'm gonna take the levels in paladin and the levels in ranger to create a new class to make it something new.
Absolutely.
That does not exist previously. And I think the warlock is probably one of the best classes to do that.
I think it just it makes it easier. The warlock can kind of slot into he can slot in all the benefits of being a warlock into almost any other class.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
also, I mean, obviously it benefits from the fact that there are so many classes that are charisma based.
Yeah.
So you can multi-class it
Paladin,
with
sorcerer,
paladin, with bard.
Yes.
And these are all classes that can be marshals as well. And if they are not, the warlock can make them marshals.
Exactly.
So it's such a great class.
Yes.
For me to it's one of my favorite multi-class to do, because obviously I love charisma-based characters, and Warlock is always that extra. It's like if you make it into I
don't know how a fly got in here. We never open any doors, but whatever.
But no, I was gonna say like if your character it's a burger, Warlock a burger.
Okay.
The warlock is the bacon.
Okay.
Like you don't need it.
Good.
You don't need it in the burger,
better.
But it makes it so much better.
I was already ready to throw a cup at you if you said the warlock is the lettuce.
Nah, come on, no. It's the bacon. Because if you don't have it in the burger is still good. But if you put bacon, it's gonna be extra. Extra.
So,
good.
Absolutely right. I completely agree with you on that point, and it's one of the reasons why I like warlocks a lot as well, even though I don't multi-class as much. I don't really like multi-classing as much. I like to start with a narrative and kind of move into it. But yeah, you never know. So also, apart from Eldritch Invocations, which there are a number of, and by the time you get to level 20, you get 10 Eldritch Invocations in 2024 rule set, right?
I think maybe 11.
No, 10 actually.
10? Okay.
I have it in front of me over here.
Okay.
Yeah. You get cantrips, obviously, like any caster. You get up to a maximum of 4 cantrips by level 20, which is okay, I suppose. For the most part, you'll be casting Eldritch Blast. The rest of the cantrips can be very flavorful, kind of
yeah, I mean, once you have Eldritch Blast,
like prestidigitation kind of thing,
prestidigitation, message, mage hand, or
mage hand, that sort of thing, utilitarian
stuff. And maybe you can get like saving throw one, because you have one with an
Yeah.
attack roll, Eldritch Blast,
Yeah.
and then you can choose, I don't know, Toll the Dead, for example.
Yeah, Toll the
which
Dead
is
is
always
good. So,
it has a
yeah.
good damage.
Yeah.
It's D12 damage, so it's
exactly something like that.
But besides that, you don't really need much more
No,
than
Eldritch
Blast.
Eldritch Blast will always be your bread
It's
and
so
butter,
good.
because then you can use the Eldritch invocations to kind of improve on it a little bit
Yeah.
further. Like increase its damage, or increase its damage by, for example, adding your charisma modifier to it.
Yeah.
Which is, if you don't choose that for Eldritch Blast,
Yeah.
what are you doing? What are you doing?
Why do you hate yourself?
Yeah.
Why do you hate your
Yeah,
Warlock?
you can make your Warlock into a spell sniper kind of thing, with
Yes.
the range, Eldritch Javelin, I think it's
Yes.
called Eldritch Spear.
Eldritch Spear.
Eldritch
Yes.
Spear, you can
I mean,
kind of-
even though the Eldritch Blast has already 120 feet of
it's
range,
insane. You can
with
add
the Eldritch Spear, you get like
Yeah.
30 times your Warlock level.
so basically it adds 10 feet,
Uh-huh.
and the range increased by a number of feet equal to 30 times your Warlock level. So
Yeah.
you can add it up to 60 feet,
Yeah.
which is insane. Like the enemy won't even see you coming. 20 times. Wait, 30.
600 feet.
600 feet. Sorry, I'm bad at math.
Yeah, so that would be 720 feet.
720
That's a bit of an overkill.
feet.
You're never going to shoot anything farther than 200, 300 feet.
Can you imagine like 720 feet worth of movement?
That's insane.
Remove like the range,
Yeah.
like penalty. What was range penalty? Like you can't be in close combat, right?
Yeah, you
You
cannot
can't be
be
within
within
5
5
feet.
feet. I mean, you can be, but you have disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay. Say you want to do that as well. You
Yeah.
have a 720 feet of movement, like worth of turns sequentially
Yeah.
to cast Eldritch Blast every time.
Yeah. If you're not slowing them down with the
Or
Eldritch
pushing them
Invocation or
back.
pushing them back. Also, because like this is the thing, the insane part of the Eldritch Invocation. What's the name of the one that pushes you 10 feet back every time? it hits?
Repelling Blast. I
Repelling
believe
Blast.
It was.
So because Eldritch Blast works differently from every other cantrip,
Yeah,
so you
Repelling
have
Blast.
4 different rays, which pushes you back 10 feet each time it hits. So by level 20, you can push someone back 40 feet.
Yeah.
And if you also have the one that slow them down, you also slow them of 40 feet. So they have to do
insane.
80 feet just
To get close to- yeah.
just to recover from the last round of Eldritch Blast.
Yeah,
It's-
assuming you hit, but
It's,
to
yeah,
be
assuming
fair,
you hit, but
to be
by
fair,
level 20, you're gonna hit with 4 Eldritch Blast. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, by level 20, you probably will have max charisma out with like
Yeah.
stuff,
You have at least a plus 12, 13, 14 to hit.
which is insane.
You know,
in
it's
and of
pretty
itself,
good.
Yeah,
It's not insane, but it's very good.
it's very good.
I mean, if you add magical item to that, you can get up to plus 14, plus 15 easily. And pretty much, I would not say never miss, but missing at level 20 is going to become hard.
To be fair, missing at level 20 is critical. Like, you can get
Yeah, you gotta roll,
seriously in.
you gotta roll
Yeah.
a 1 or a 2, or like you have to roll bad.
Yeah, and
Like-
also like missing an attack or a roll or something at level 20, probably at the caliber of enemies that you will be fighting, it can prove fatal as well. Like, it can be one of those things which
Yeah, if you have
quickly
a-
snowballs down.
Yeah,
into
if you have a
calamity.
streak of miss, like more than
Yeah.
one player missing in the round,
You can
you're in danger.
cascade
You're
very
in danger.
fast.
Yeah.
So then, obviously they have spell slots and spells. They can prepare up to 15 spells by level 20. They
Yeah.
can have up to 4 spell slots at level 20. But the spell slot level, this is the good thing about Warlock. You always cast at the highest level spell slot, which is available for that spell. So if you are, for example, level, say 10 Warlock, you'll be casting at level 5.
Yeah.
So all those 4 spell slots will always be level 5. And when you recover those spell slots, you will always recover those level 5 spell slots. At level 20, you'll have level 5 spells. Basically, from
Yes,
level 10 onwards, you just
From
have
level 10
level 5
onwards,
spells.
you're always at level
Yeah.
5. Because after
But-
that, obviously, you don't get more spell progression.
Exactly.
But
you get
the
the
Mystic
Arcanum.
Arcanum.
The Mystic Arcanum. The Mystic Arcanum basically gives you a level 6 spell, a level 7 spell, level 8 and level 9 at alternating levels from level 11 onwards. And they give you the access to one spell, I believe, in particular at that level.
yeah, you can choose, you can
Let's
pick whatever
find it.
spell you want, but you can just cast it once
Yeah.
per day.
Exactly. You cast it once per day.
So that's
Typically,
why they
yeah.
are full casters, but they work slightly different from other casters. Because
Exactly.
obviously other casters, they usually have more than one spell slot. Not for level 9,
Yeah.
8, and 7, but for level 6, for example, they have actually level 6 and 7. They have more than one spell slot. And obviously they have a larger selection. But just because this is not something that you learn, it's just a gift that is
Yeah.
given to you, that
Exactly.
you
can
have to
only-
make your choice wisely.
and when to cast it as well.
And
So
when
it's
to
one of
cast
those
it.
things that typically I tend to leave. Like for example, a teleportation spell, like at level 9, can be incredibly powerful. It can be one of those things where like, okay, we're all in deep shit, we're gonna die right now. I'm casting this level 9 spell, and and it can get you out of trouble very quickly. So this is how I like to play warlocks typically. Not necessarily defensive, more like utility, rather than defensive. But I still like to lean a lot into the Eldritch Blast. So it's going to be a high charisma warlock, obviously. Even though I play it narratively, I may not play like a charismatic in the sense of like a likable warlock, but I'll play like a warlock who can at least make himself be believed when it comes to like I know my shit.
They are naturally persuasive,
Yeah.
a persuasive class.
They have to be.
You can choose, and this is the thing, it gives you the freedom to not lean too much on that.
Yes.
Because obviously as a
You
skill,
can go multiple
exactly,
ways.
yeah, with the skills,
Yeah.
you can still choose Arcana, which is
Yeah.
intelligence based, because obviously as an example, if you want to build a warlock that is, a knowledgeable person, you do want history, you do want Arcana, but you're still gonna have that +5 in charisma that is gonna push your persuasion, your deception, your intimidation above average, because not many other classes that are not charisma based are gonna have a +5 in persuasion or in deception.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it still
And
makes for a pretty likable
and that's the thing,
or unlikable character.
Exactly, but when you have a warlock with that skill set, you don't necessarily have to rely on a bard to do all the talking.
Yeah, and you don't have to be the face of the party, but you can be
like the influence
if there is
behind
need.
it. Yeah, the influence behind it. Like you'll have your party talking, and then like from the back you can come as a warlock and say, I think, and then you kind of contribute that way. Like you're not necessarily front and center. You're more of a schemer kind of thing. It can work that way. And one of my favorite invocations that we have over here, it used to be part of the main skill set, like the pacts. In 2014 rule set, the warlock used to choose his patron. Well, not select his patron, but as a player, you used to select your warlock's patron.
But you used to get.
Yes, and then there was the pact. There was Pact of the Chain, Pact of the Tome, and stuff
Pact
like
of the Blade.
Pact of the Blade. I personally...
And then there was also Pact of the Talisman that was...
Eventually, but it was not in the core ones.
Yeah, it was not in the core one. Was in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Exactly. I liked Pact of the Tome.
Pact of the Tome is pretty
because
cool.
it opened up... so
it's still
annoying.
Still a fly.
Yeah.
On the microphone. She wants to. Let's not slap the microphone.
No, let's not slap the microphone.
No, but she wants. The fly wants to take part in the podcast as well.
We're so good at
the
this.
5 minutes. The 5 minutes of notoriety.
Exactly. 5 minutes of fame. So with the Pact of the Tome, it opens up your. No pun intended. Opens like a book. It's like opening the book. Pun intended. Sorry.
We're still doing that.
We're still doing that since the pilot.
Please.
So. It opens up a lot more avenues and your versatility because it gives you more cantrips and it gives you ritual spells, which can be very, very useful. As a warlock, the more free spells you can get, the better.
Yeah, you wanna get as many spells as you can.
A wizard getting an extra spell is like
it's not gonna make a big difference.
It's good, but it's not gonna make a big difference. But for a warlock, it really opens up his repertoire, and something like that is interesting. Plus, spellcasting focus becoming the book.
Yeah.
Love that. I love my warlock to have like this big heavy tome of forbidden knowledge in a language that no one can read and no one can understand, and that is the focus. Amazing. That's what I love about this. Like the narrative aspect of a warlock is one of the things that I really, really, really love.
Absolutely. And apart from being obviously I recognize what you're describing into the characters that I saw you playing. But I think the beauty of the warlock is also how customizable it is as a class, because you can have the same class with just not even a different subclass. You can have the same patron.
Exactly.
And choose different invocations and be a completely different warlock. You can be let's say you take two warlocks and one is Aros, so intellectual with Pact of the Tome, and not choosing charisma based skills, and then you can have the same Great Old One warlock, but instead of Pact of the Tome you choose Pact of the Blade, and instead of choosing the invocation that gives you armor of shadow, you choose, I don't know, thirsting blade, so you can do 2 attacks.
Yeah.
And you become a melee fighter.
Exactly.
And you become
Warlocks are so fucking versatile. That's the
It's
thing
very
about
versatile,
it.
yes.
And you can also play like the exact same character and have 2 different choices, and both of them would be relevant. Like for example, say for example an Infernal Patron.
Oh my god.
Right?
My
Infernal
favorite.
Patrons are amazing.
He's my favorite.
Your favorite.
He's my favorite.
So there you can have a character who's narratively with an Infernal Patron out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
They were at the end of their life. They were attacked unjustly and they swore vengeance against someone, and this Infernal Patron answered.
Yeah.
Granted them power, granted them a second chance. So they are regretfully or begrudgingly serving this Infernal Patron. Will from Baldur's Gate 3. Regretfully serving a patron for a higher purpose. Okay, for a higher greater good. Or someone who is willfully following an Infernal Patron.
Or someone that is unconsciously in a pack. Like let's say your father
Exactly.
sold his firstborn son to a devil in order to become super rich, and you are born and now you are automatically a fiend pact, a fiend patron.
A fiend pact. Sorry, not infernal. I call it infernal patron, but it's a fiend. Fiend.
You could be, you could be infernal, or you could be abyssal.
Yeah,
abyssal.
I mean,
maybe you sold your soul to a demon instead than a
How
devil.
Stupid of you to do that, but that's what we play for. So here's the thing. When it comes to subclasses, in the main core rule set, we're not talking about the Unearthed Arcana yet.
No,
but we'll discuss them.
Yeah, there will be a
today.
lot. There is a lot of Unearthed Arcana coming out.
But anyway, so there's the Archfey, the Archfey patron, which is incredibly like, it's one of those things which are I don't want to say niche because they appeal to everyone, but
No,
they're
they're
very very particular in the way that you play them.
Well, I mean, they're the most.
They're for a very particular subset of player. That's what I mean to say.
I think so. Yeah, if you love chaos, that's your thing. That's your
pure unbridled chaos.
Yeah. I think Fey Patron Warlock are so flavorful. Like flavor wise, I think they are some of the most interesting. I have never played a Fey Patron. First of all, in 2014, the Fey Patron Warlock was literally the worst.
Yes, it was
the worst. Warlock Patron was.
I agree.
Very hard to make it work and be useful.
Yeah.
If you compared it with other Warlock subclasses. In 2024 is absolutely incredible. Is maybe the best. Arguably one of the best. But it's so much fun to play. Like you can teleport around, you can charm people, you can and you do
very much of a trickster kind of
thing. Very trickster kind. I mean,
that's
to the nature
point of it.
Plays to the nature of your patron.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love Fey creatures because they can be extremely evil or extremely good, or both at the same time.
Exactly.
Because obviously the concept that Fey creatures have of good and evil are very different from what mortals have of good and evil.
Exactly.
So,
and what they may not necessarily have a good or evil kind of morality or duality for Fey creatures. They're just chaotic. They're just chaos. Yes. But also moving on, there's also the Celestial Patron.
I have actually.
I'm sorry. I hate this. Oh, almost.
Jade almost got it. You know what we need to do?
We've been here since March 2025. We've never had a single fly indoors.
Well, listen.
Except people, but
It had. You know what we need to do? We need to buy one of these. The
Dapper ones.
Yeah,
you know what it could be?
The racket one.
This could be a shapeshifted druid.
Hey, listen. If you want to shapeshift, please teach me. Teach me how to do it.
There's also the Celestial Patron for Warlocks. The Celestial Patron, as you might assume, is someone who's a bit of more, I don't know, heavens-inspired kind of.
Listen, I've played the Celestial Patron.
You have played the Celestial Patron
Warlock.
Of course you have played.
It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. It was a multi-class.
Yeah, they typically rely. Yeah, it was a multi-class, but they typically rely on like the healing effect.
Yes, they are pretty good healers.
The lawful, the good ones, not necessarily lawful, but the good archetypes kind of thing. They're very powerful healers.
They're pretty good at healing.
Yes.
They heal as they have like a pool of dice that they can roll, and they do it as a bonus action. It's pretty useful, to be honest.
Especially if you multi-class it as well. I think it can be
especially
very
if you
powerful.
multi-class, but even if you are playing just a plain warlock, because normally warlock don't heal, because you don't get any healing spell.
There are no healing spells for warlocks as far as I recall, unless you are a celestial patron warlock.
Unless you're a celestial patron warlock, and the list itself, it gives you aid, it gives you cure wounds, it gives you revivify, but as I was saying,
eventually even like greater restoration.
It gives you a lot of summon celestial is a very good spell.
Insanely good.
Wall of Fire is so cool. It's just cool. It's just
it's one of those spells that
like
you can
visually is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's one of those spells that you can get in an Arcanum because they're level 7 and level 9.
Yeah. But yeah, so the Celestial, I really enjoyed playing the Celestial Patron Warlock.
I could be mistaken, but
because obviously your patron is usually like an angel or like, you know, it's not necessarily a planetar, and it doesn't have to be necessarily a god.
No, it can be just a more powerful entity which is celestially aligned, like heavens aligned, like local good, that kind of stuff.
I enjoyed it a lot. I started that character as a cleric of life, and then the goddess that my character was playing died. So I was for a little bit without any magical power. So I was a cleric that could not cast spells. I was literally fucked.
That is
for a little bit, and then because my character was an Azimar,
couldn't he just have called like on his father?
Well, this is the thing. Like the Azimar, like the Tiefling, they are born from mortals.
Yes.
But so basically, the blood descendant, the blood from which he descended
to become an Azimar,
was his patron.
Yeah.
So it was like an uncle.
An
uncle came and
reminded me of the Jackie Chan adventures with Uncle coming to help. Or Uncle Iroh.
Uncle Iroh. Oh my god, so cool. Best character.
He would definitely be the best patron in a warlock could have. Like, can you imagine like a monk variant of a warlock with Uncle Iroh as the patron? We're homebrewing this in the future for sure.
Yes, please, let's do that.
Then there is the Fiend patron. We've talked about this. The Fiend is typically like the evil, infernal, aligned, kind of demon, devil, depends on what.
Yeah, I mean in most of the cases it's a devil, because devils are the one that they make you sign pacts and stuff. So
that kind of thing.
So,
and they because that's the thing. Like an easy way to remember this is like the devils are the intelligent ones. Demons are not necessarily the intelligent ones. They're the savage ones.
Yeah, more than intelligence. Like the devils are lawful.
Yeah, they follow their own code, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Like they have their own set of rules.
And the demons are chaotic. They just want to destroy. They just want to eat the world.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's much easier to make a pact with someone that is reasonable.
Yes.
Within their evil, they are reasonable creatures. They are creatures of law.
Exactly. They have their own pacts to follow. Like they have their own tenets, and they make contracts with the warlocks that they grant boons to and they grant power to, but they're not necessarily out for your own benefit.
Not at all.
If you're gaining benefits from it, it must be because your patron has the same benefits aligned.
Yes, and obviously they're gonna demand things,
and eventually they're going to collect.
And they're gonna or they're gonna simply wait.
Exactly.
They will wait you out. Because at the end, they're devils. They're gonna be there forever. They're gonna wait for you until you expire, and your soul goes back to them.
Exactly.
But I love a good Fiend patron. I think is again, together with the Great Old One, is like the standard, like the most, let's say, the most common one. The most common one. And even like not even outside of Dungeons and Dragons is the like making a pact with the devil is one of the most common tropes, and one even in cinema, even in in other media, there is always this pact with the devil.
Yeah, we've seen that in Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Yes.
We've seen that in Ghost Rider.
Yeah, those are definitely Bards.
Bards, absolutely.
Bards Warlock.
Yeah. Multi-classes for
exactly.
sure.
Multi-class Bards Warlock.
And finally,
by the way, multi-class Bard Warlock, best multi-class ever. I'll show you one day.
Maybe. We'll see. I will give you a chance to amuse me if you give me a chance to wreck you. In game, of course.
And then
So there is also
that's what she said.
in game, of course.
In game, of course.
There's the great old
And then there is your favorite one,
My
the great
favorite
old
one.
one.
The great old one. The great old one, as I said, is about this kind of like Lovecraftian horror, typically, but it could also be very simple, like the general unknown aspect.
Yeah. And they play a lot with their minds.
Yes,
You know,
psionics, kind of like psychic abilities. And
they
that sort
read
of-
minds, they can communicate
Yeah.
mentally with other creatures, they get detect thoughts
Detect
immediately
thoughts.
at level 3.
And telekinesis.
Telekinesis. No,
Level
they get
9.
to be honest, the list of spells is pretty good. Like they get detect thoughts, dissonant whispers, phantasmal force, touch assiduous laughter,
Yes.
clairvoyance, hunger of Adar, confusion,
Confusion.
summon aberration, modify memory, and telekinesis. All super thematic.
And the
like
level 10
the flavor
feature.
there is insane.
The level 10 options, Eldritch Hex. You always have Hex spell prepared when you cast Hex and choose an ability. Target also has disadvantage on saving throws of the chosen ability for the duration of the spell.
Yeah, so basically
have
you can
Hex.
hex and give them disadvantage to the saving throw and then cast a spell on them.
Exactly. It's really good.
Yeah.
And they can create Thrall at level 14, which can be very, very nice. Very nice. I think overall the Warlocks
Is
one of
is a class packed with flavor.
yes,
Packed
absolutely.
with flavor.
And mind, by the way, it's a D8 hit point die.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not
not
too bad.
bad.
I mean, it has more hit points than all the other spell. I mean, more than the sorcerer and the wizard.
Yeah.
Because the cleric also get a D8, the bard also get a D8.
Yeah, but
so
the whole point of the cleric is to be kind of also armored to
yeah.
a certain extent as well. So, but the warlock, yes, the warlock.
it's
I
a
think
sturdy.
has,
It's a sturdy. It's a decent hit die.
So here's a question for
For a
you:
full
like
caster.
warlocks, okay, we know some unearthed arcanas have come out and that sort of thing. But if you had to create your own version of a subclass, like a homebrew version, like what would you create?
Okay, so I think this is something that has been lacking. That's a very good question.
Maybe we can create it.
Yes, something that has been lacking incredibly in the Warlock portfolio of patrons. And I'm talking to Wizard of the Coast. Where the fuck is the Dragon Patron Warlock?
Interesting.
Why? Like, it's in the name of the game. How we don't have a warlock that make a pact with a dragon? That would be... it would make so much sense. Like, imagine you are adventuring.
Yes.
You're going
And
out in the world.
dragon grants you power.
And,
Absolutely.
and you go out there, and if you are a good aligned character, you meet a golden dragon,
I
and
think
you
it could
become
be.
a dragon knight by becoming a
I think it could
warlock
be because
patron.
there is already kind of covered in, I believe the fighter has some sort of dragon. No, not the fighter. The sorcerer, sorry.
The sorcerer has a dragon
Yeah.
ancestry.
Yeah,
But that's what I'm
that's it.
saying. Like, that's a different
just that.
thing. That's a different thing. Because as a sorcerer, you're just born into that bloodline. There is no choice there for you as a character.
I agree with you.
As a warlock,
I agree with you.
I think there is so much
There's
potential
for that.
there.
Maybe we should create it ourselves.
You could give, imagine the armor of shadow invocation. Instead of an armor of shadow, is an armor of scale. So when you cast mage armor on you,
It's actually like actual scale.
it's like
Yeah.
dragon scale that grow on your skin.
That's interesting.
Come on.
That's
There
interesting.
is so much potential
it.
there. Where is
Yeah.
the warlock with the dragon patron? That's insane.
That is interesting. I think what I've been kind of always been fascinated by, like going on the cosmic wheel model, right? You've got the Inferno, you've got the Fiends, you've got the Celestials, you've got the Phase, which is kind of not really on the wheel, but you know what I mean. It's extra planar. I always was fascinated by two things: either a patron from the Beastlands,
Okay.
that kind of like this belligerent martial, almost like a cross between a barbarian and the warlock kind of thing, like this belligerent creature.
Okay.
Or, and I think this is one of my most requested ones personally, is having one from is it Arcadia, the one with the Modrons? Mechanus.
Ooh.
Well, can you imagine like this clockwork patron full of order, and you have to abide by their rules in the prime material plane?
Yeah, but that's, I don't know.
It
Like
can get very annoying for the player.
yeah, it can become extremely difficult to play. Like in the sense
But
that
I kind of want to see it there. I kind of want to create it.
I think the Beastlands one is
More
like,
viable, maybe. Yeah.
maybe you could like reskin or reflavor the Fey patron to do something of the Beastlands.
I
Because
mean,
in the ends, I think they're kinda they're like
not quite.
savage phase
In
kind
a
of.
way.
But yeah, the Mechanus one is pretty out there because it's. I mean, yes, there is the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer. There is the. I think there is a wizard as well, or some. I'm not sure. I think maybe no. I know because the wizard that Matthew Mercer made was for just for Exandria, and is the. What's the other kind of magic that they do? My God, the Dunamancy.
Oh yes, the Dunamancy. It was,
Yeah, but there's no. So yeah, there is only the Clockwork Soul Sorcerer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Warlock. Yeah,
I think
there might be something there.
Warlock might be quite interesting.
Yeah,
I think.
even though it would be a bit.
I think it's going to be difficult to role play.
Yeah, to role play is gonna be tough.
But I think it's one of those things that I would really rise up to the challenge and actually want to role play.
Yeah,
something
and I think
like that.
something very nice that they added in the Warlock in 2024 is the fact that you get the opportunity from level 10 onwards, if I'm not mistaken, you get the opportunity to actually not summon your patron, but like directly communicate with your patron.
Context patron level 9.
Yeah, level 9. You have contact other plane always prepared, and you can literally use the spell to talk with your patron and have a direct contact.
Yeah, can you
with it.
imagine like a clockwork patron
Jesus
contacting clockwork?
Yeah, Primus.
Yeah. Like click 0001.
yes. That would definitely talk in 0 and 1.
Yeah, like clicks and weirds.
Or
They
like
say.
imagine instead of like we're talking about Primus, okay, like the god creator of Mechanus. But imagine if you find out that your patron is just a Modron, like just a regular Modron.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, Modrons are basically these like mechanical creatures, really, from Mechanus, and they only have one function. Yeah. They can only do one thing. Yeah. Remember, like the robot from Rick and Morty? What is my function?
Yes.
You bring butter.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God, that's a
yeah.
Modron. That's literally a Modron.
Modron has only one function. Does nothing.
They're built for doing one thing, and each and every one of them does that thing.
Yeah, and there are multiple versions like the Duodron.
Yeah. Then obviously they grow in power,
Pentadron, and they have like multiple functions. But
Hexadron,
like the Modron does
the Modron
nothing,
does
just one thing.
Yeah. Imagine you find out that your patron is like still low on the scale. He didn't evolve yet.
Oh, that would be really cool narratively if he evolves. Your patron moves up in power as you move up in power.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would work. Yeah. So that would also justify why you only get like one spell slot.
Yeah, you only get one spell slot. You can do one thing. You can do one thing, and it's that spell slot.
The spell list for a warlock will be one spell. Anyway, so yeah, that basically wraps up my favorite.
So
like subclass kind of thing.
No, super cool. But I have to be honest. Warlock is also one of my favorite as well. Yeah. As I said, I would say is actually my favorite to multiclass into.
Yeah.
Like as you have another charisma, mostly charisma. I mean, you can the nice thing of the Warlock is that you can multiclass into Warlock and still have it to be useful, even if you multiclass into something that has nothing to do with charisma. But yeah, I would say as a lover of charisma-based class, Warlock is my favorite one to multiclass into.
Yeah, I mean, the spells that are available to a Warlock may not necessarily be offensive in that way, so they may not really rely on your charisma value.
Yeah, no, exactly.
If you have spells which are utility, like
if there is no saving throw, if there is
that sort of thing, there's no saving throw or no attack roll. You don't really need that stat dump in it. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Let's move on to yours. What do you think?
I struggle with this. Like I can't really.
And by the way, just a disclaimer: this was not like an in-depth Warlock review or anything.
Obviously, we're just
we'll do that.
Skimming through and actually, we have in plan to go like class by class and just going through subclasses and talking more in depth about classes. But this is just our favorite.
Absolutely.
Just flavor wise and
your turn.
well, I was saying
for
I
some water.
actually struggle with this a lot, with this choice, because there are so many classes that I love. I have played, I wouldn't say all of them, but I've played most of the classes
Yeah,
by
that I
now
believe.
through multiclassing mostly.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that.
Because, for example, I played a barbarian, but it was not a full barbarian. It was obviously in 2014.
What kind of barbarian?
I played a vengeance paladin with
Vengeance
the
Paladin is
with,
so interesting.
with the what is it called, the barbarian, the one that is also voted to divinity, the zealot.
The Zealot. Yeah, yeah.
Zealot barbarian, vengeance paladin. Super good combination in 2014. Unfortunately, it does not work anymore in 2024. You can't play barbarian and paladin anymore in 2024 because now smite, it's a spell, so when you rage you can't smite.
Yeah, but I just love the flavor text for part of the Zealot, which literally just said, rage in ecstatic union with a god.
Yeah.
Rage with ecstatic union with a god. Like, I'm so happy to kill you.
Yes. No, the barbarian is super fun to play. And I'm trying to remember the name of this character, which was called... So, I don't remember the first name. I remember the title that he went by.
Okay,
which was the Hand.
The Hand.
The Hand.
Oh my.
Because he was a bugbear that was thrown in a fighting pit.
Okay.
Unarmed, because he was supposed to be one of these beasts that the gladiators would slaughter.
Oh, that's a really good backstory.
Yes, and he was called the Hand because he managed to kill the gladiator that was supposed to kill him, even though he was unarmed, because he bite off his hand. And he started wearing the hand.
That's good.
As a pendant. That's why
good,
it was called the Hand.
That is really good.
And obviously he was a paladin because after that he swore to serve the god of battle. And that's why he was a paladin. And obviously he was a paladin of the oath of vengeance because he had decided to avenge himself. Once he freed himself from the service as a gladiator, because obviously then he continued his
kind of thing,
career as a gladiator.
Yeah.
And then obviously the path of the zealot barbarian came. I mean, I was a barbarian first and then multiclassed into paladin once I made the oath to this god of battle, and then I took the subclass of the zealot because obviously then he was like, oh, this god chose me to bring, you know, the war to the world. So that's why I became a zealot of this god.
I love that backstory, man, honestly. So barbarian is like,
I played barbarian. I played obviously bard, man. I think bard. So okay, I'm gonna give you like my favorite. My favorite are bard, cleric.
Bard is good.
Bard, cleric, wizard, and I would say paladin.
So
probably.
okay, so let's go over there. So bard, cleric, paladin, and wizard.
Yes.
Okay, so subclass. Choose one for each.
Okay.
For the bard.
Okay, for the bard.
I'll be honest, the bards I know the least about. I'll be honest, because I've never played a bard myself, and I've never had any players who played bards with me.
Really?
No.
Oh my god.
That needs to change.
You might have one.
We'll see if I ever.
If you ever let
again.
me, if you ever let me fucking play D&D,
the eternal
please.
struggle between Peppe
We need
and
to play more D&D, man. I don't know
do.
what to tell you. We need to play more D&D. I never have enough D&D in my life. Just
that we know, man. That we know.
So okay, can I choose something that is not in the player's handbook?
It's up to you.
Because my favorite
Is it
bard
2014
subclass,
or is it like
It
Unearthed
is-
Unearthed Arcana?
no, it's not Unearthed Arcana.
Yet.
It's from another book, published book, from Wizard of the Coast.
Which one?
I think it's Ravnica.
Oh yeah, I have Ravnica. That's right there.
I'm not.
actually.
I'm not 100%.
Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica.
Yes. It might be in there, or it's wait.
They should all be backwards compatible. No,
Yeah, they are.
So,
They are. So this is the thing. If they have not been republished,
Yeah.
you can still use those.
Yeah.
So yeah, my favorite one is the College of Eloquence.
Interesting.
The College of Eloquence is my favorite. It has been. I played it only once
Mhm.
for a very for like it was not a one shot. It was like a 4-5 session kind of game.
Mhm.
And I played the College of Eloquence multi-classed with Hexblade.
Interesting. So either listen to me or listen to my sword.
Yeah, no, in the sense that and he was some sort of like a pirate.
Oh.
Was like a pirate bard. So the College of Eloquence was this part of him like being extremely charming and extremely good at talking to people. But in the real in the D&D world, he was a captain of a ship. And so the Hexblade part came from the fact that during his travel, he found this sword that was like a sword of fathom or something, like a sword that came from underneath the sea. So so he had like his patron was like some like a underwater creature, like a kraken.
Yeah,
It was undefined.
Okay.
So it was an underwater creature, which have granted him this sword that gave him his power. That's why it was an X-blade. But in reality, he was an eloquence bard because he was this extremely charming. And actually, funnily enough, he was not a very charming race. He was a hobgoblin. But that because that was in the Forgotten Realms.
Yeah, of course.
And I played. By the way, shout out to Fausto that let me play this character. He's a friend of mine in Italy. A very good. He used to be one of my players, and then he started DMing, and he had me for like a 3-4 session as a guest player in his game. They're playing Descent into Avernus.
Oh, amazing.
So I was the captain of a ship in Baldur's Gate.
Okay, interesting.
Was super fun to play, and the College of Eloquence is just so good. Like the persuasion and deception, it's out of the roof.
Amazing.
It's almost impossible to fail. It's so good at persuasion and deception that you can literally talk into and out of any situation.
Like those kinds of characters are amazing for con artists as well. That would play in like you are a ship captain, right?
Yep.
Pirate? No? Or like not a pirate?
He was more like a smuggler.
Yeah,
more than a
That's
pirate.
exactly what I mean. Like for example, you have guards coming to inspect your goods, and suddenly
100%.
you're like, I've got nothing in there. Kind of like here's a gold or something, and you
like
manage
persuasion your way into the city or out of the city.
The scene comes to mind from Game of Thrones, where there is the Onion Knight with the boat full of fermented crab or something.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
That kind of maybe not quite the right portrayal of a character, but that kind of scenario.
Where
you're
absolutely
bribing the guards or talking them out.
Just saying, come on. Just let me.
Yeah.
That was the idea.
It's cool.
And like he was a smuggler, but he never wanted to. He never. It was only his cargo was never people.
Yeah, so Jack Sparrow basically.
His whole thing was that he was sold. Him and his mother, they were sold as slaves when he was a child. So he never wanted to deal with.
Yeah, a smuggler with principles.
Yeah, he had his own code of conduct.
So that's the Bard, the College of Eloquence. So let's go on a cleric. So subclass for a cleric. I do have a favorite subclass for. Actually, I have two.
Which one is your favorite?
Two of my favorite subclasses are the cleric of the light domain.
Yes,
I like the light domain.
Very good.
And the war domain. Especially war domain for Baldur's Gate 3.
2024 war domain is
very good. On Baldur's Gate 3 is also like the war domain is very good early level.
And the light domain is also insane.
The
light domain was always good.
Light domain is very good on Baldur's Gate 3 if you have the right gear and equipment. But anyway, like that's beside this point.
Listen, light domain cleric. Okay, I'm gonna give out a secret. Can I give out a secret to win a campaign? To win an entire D&D published campaign?
Sure.
Okay. So play Curse of Strahd as a player and convince one of your friends. You choose one and convince one of your friends to choose the other. You need a Paladin Oath of Devotion and a Cleric domain, light domain. You won. You won Curse of Strahd. You can't fail. Because the Oath of Devotion makes yourself and your allies within the aura immune to charm. So vampire cannot charm you. Yeah. And the light domain just has so many light spells and light auras and stuff that you're gonna so many radiant damage.
Yeah,
You're gonna fuck
vaporize.
up
Yeah.
any vampire. So you're welcome. If you wanna win Curse of Strahd,
Yeah.
these are the two
Strahd
classes.
hates them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, so the light domain is one of my favorite one. I don't like the trickery domain as much. I mean,
to be honest, the old trickery domain was kinda sucked.
yeah,
The new one,
new one is better.
the new one is broken.
Yeah,
The new one is probably the strongest.
Yeah.
Like this is the thing. Like something that I noticed a lot that they did in 2024. They kinda adjusted, obviously the subclasses and the classes, because we will talk about that. But the subclasses and the classes that were the weakest, they kinda put a lot of love to it, and some of them became very strong. I wouldn't say broken. None of the classes in the 2024 Player's Handbook is broken.
Yeah, I agree.
But there are some that are very
not
strong.
on their own.
They're very good.
Yeah.
They're very good. And the trickery domain is one of those.
Yeah.
My favorite.
Yeah, what is your favorite?
Okay, so I have a soft spot. I cannot speak today. I am I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, there's so many things.
First and foremost, you're on a podcast with me.
Yes. First and foremost. By the way, we have fulfilled the fantasy of the 21st century of two white guys on a podcast. Like the trope of two white guys on a podcast.
Not like we're the first.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like we have, we can put that check on our list. But yeah, no, going back on the cleric. So I have an incredible soft spot for the life domain cleric because I played one for 3 years.
Yeah.
And they are the best healers.
They are. I mean, they were built to be the best
incredible healer.
Yes.
When you have a life domain cleric in your party, it's so hard to kill somebody. It's so incredibly hard for the DM, unless you want to do crazy, like making a challenging encounter. It's hard on its own merit.
Yes, it is.
When you have a life domain cleric, you can go. You don't need to worry as much to go overboard because the life domain cleric is.
If they know what they're doing, for sure.
If they know what they're doing, obviously.
Because that's the thing. Like life domain clerics are amazing. I don't particularly like playing them because there's such a trope of the typical healer. So kind of you get kind of boxed into you're the healer kind of thing. If you're okay,
the healer.
Exactly. If you're okay, kind of being the healer of the party. Yeah. And if you're okay in combat, that's all you're going to do, that's fine,
I mean, that's the thing. It's not even all you're going to do. But it's just that you're going to be so good at that in any occasion. And this is the thing. In any other party, you're going to need at least 2 people that heals.
Yes.
If you have a
life domain,
you are the dedicated healer and you are good.
Yeah.
You don't need any backup.
If you want to play a cleric. So in other healers, which are not, let's call them not full healers. Let's call them that way, just for the sake of this. For other like half healers or stuff like that, you're going to always have a choice between do I heal my party or do I cast and try to kill an enemy?
Yeah, but I mean with the cleric as well. With the
life
domain cleric.
Yeah, but with the life domain cleric,
you do have
the shift is always going to be towards like I should heal my party because that is what you are really good at.
I mean,
I'm not saying don't swing a mace if obviously you've got nothing to heal.
No, but you've got spells.
You still got your spells
to do damage and to.
Yes, but if you're not healing as a life domain.
Yeah, you should be healing. You are there for healing.
Just like a warlock, if you're not casting Eldritch Blast, what the fuck are you doing? Kind of thing, So that's why I don't really. I mean, I like it. I like the life domain. I just don't think it's the class for me.
And my second one is probably also not the class for you because it has a similar, not concept, sorry, like a similar mechanics, which is the Twilight Domain cleric.
Twilight Domain is interesting. It's not in the core.
It's not in the core. It's in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything.
Yes. Is it in any of the Unearthed Arcana so far?
I mean, it was in the Unearthed Arcana before they published it. Then once it was published,
it's just
they didn't rework. I mean, I'm talking 2014.
Okay, so not for 2024.
Unearthed Arcana. 2024 Unearthed Arcana, they have not reworked it. Yeah. Actually, recently, well, more or less recently, something similar to the Twilight Domain cleric came up.
Is it one of the horror ones from
no,
Horror Arcana?
It's a druid subclass.
Oh, all right.
That does pretty much very similar things to the Twilight Domain cleric.
Okay.
So they gave to the druid a lot of the healing and buffing, like with temporary hit points. And there was a little bit of discussion on the internet because it was a bit too similar to the Twilight Domain, in the sense that when the Twilight Domain and the Peace Domain came out, both of them together in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, there was no choice anymore.
Yeah.
Because they were so much better than any other cleric
absolutely.
subclass. That's a little bit the debate that there has been about these Unearthed Arcana Druid, which is the, I think, Circle of Preservation.
Can't remember. But, no, Tasha's
it's in the
over there. I have online.
It's in the Dark Sun Unearthed Arcana that came out recently.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of discussion about, like, do we want to create another case in which there is one choice that is so good at doing this thing of giving temporary hit points and buffing stuff also to the druid, because then is someone else gonna choose, I don't know, the Circle of the Sea, for example? Because Circle of the Sea is fantastic, but it's mainly if you're gonna play like a pirate campaign or an underwater campaign or something like that. Outside of the water is gonna be a little bit challenging to play that kind of. Meanwhile, this one is gonna be good everywhere.
Circle of the Sea in a desert.
But that would be, I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it is.
Because you can be circle of the sea and not necessarily be the sea. You can be Circle of the Water.
Yeah.
And just say, hey, I'm gonna bring the water to the
desert,
to the most arid place.
It could be. Look, this
Earth,
is the thing I like about these kinds of character creations, like stuff. Like I love creating characters with my players, because we always find a way to narratively weave the setting into the character. You know, like for example, let's take example of my homebrew campaign. Like if we're talking about the elves, typically, like society, they would be either rangers or druids. Sorry, clerics or druids in terms of leadership, and rangers in terms of enforcement. But I've had players who wanted to be a paladin, who wanted to be an elf as well in Yukabai, for example.
I remember.
Yeah. So like that can work, you know, or I don't know, druids of a particular subclass, you know. So there's always...
Circle of the Stars.
So there's always like these ways to kind of weave your narrative into it, and this is what I love about it. And it's I mean, yeah, you can say that they were built for a specific campaign in mind, like certain subclasses were drafted and were designed for a particular use in mind.
Yeah, and I mean, and they have their use, you know, they have their. I mean, it makes sense that some subclasses are a little bit more niche than others, because you wanna fill that gap as well.
Yeah,
so you're gonna have some that are a bit more niche.
Not every player is going to be a
Exactly.
new player.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
and you may want to explore something that you have never played before.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Twilight Domain Cleric. I mean, there is nothing we need to say about it because it's such a fucking good class, man.
Yeah.
Just the aura that gives temporary HP every round, like a D6 plus your level.
It is.
It's so and to every single creature in the aura, and the aura is huge.
I remember that.
It's 30 feet emanation around you.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's just for that. It's worth to take. Okay, now 3 levels in cleric. Before was 1 level in cleric, because before you were choosing your domain at level 1.
Yeah.
So before you had 1 level of cleric, and obviously that you wouldn't give as many temporary HP out because it would be 1d6 plus
Obviously,
1.
but still 7 HP, like a maximum. You know,
At low level is great.
Yeah.
And it's every round.
At low level, even 2 temporary hit points is
It's
very useful. So yeah, and what was the third one?
So Paladin.
Cleric, Paladin. Paladin is interesting.
Paladin is such
I
a
liked
great
Paladin
class.
as well.
I am a bit disappointed to the change to the Paladin of 2024.
Yeah, let's not really get into the whole changes that happened, because I know what you mean.
What they did to my boy.
I know what you mean.
Look what they did to my
Look
boy.
what they did to my boy.
Yeah, I don't like.
Here's
I don't like
Paladin.
that smite is a spell, but okay, that's fine.
I see your point. I empathize with your point. I agree with you to a certain extent. That's, you know, smite is not a
Smite is
spell,
smite. It's an ability.
but also kind of like,
Also, me coming from 3rd edition and 3.5 edition, where smite has always been
just
around, and it has always been an ability.
yeah. I kind of see
Then
their point of making it a spell because it had a magical effect kind of thing, but I understand your point. I understand your point, absolutely.
anyway, no,
So
I love the flavor of the paladin.
okay, and which particular subclass are we talking about?
Vengeance is so good, man.
Vengeance is
How
good.
can you not choose a paladin, like a good align?
Yeah, it can
Character
backfire on you in terms of keeping your
that-
oath. Then, like, if it's vengeance.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like if you're good aligned,
Yeah,
but you're seeking vengeance for a tragedy that happens,
Yeah.
or you know, it has that duality of saying which is really the right choice.
yeah.
Is vengeance the right choice because my oath tells me, or because my god tells me?
Or is it the benevolence kind of thing? Yeah.
Mhm.
No. In roleplay wise, I agree with you 100%. I also like Oath of the Ancients. Oath of the Ancients, I think, has a lot of potential. At least maybe because it lends to my setting a little bit better.
Uh-huh.
But I really like the Oath of the Ancients as well.
The Oath of the Ancients is very interesting, and is basically that Green Knight that we were talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
is-
it can lend itself to a narrative where you're trying to protect nature, where you're trying to fight off like deforestation, civilization kind of thing, where you're trying to kind of it can also lend itself to, for example, like you said, you mentioned earlier, like the arena with the gladiators fighting monsters.
Yeah.
If the monsters are of nature, like if they're beasts and that sort of thing, I believe, and Paladin of the Ancients may have something to say about that as well, because, you know, taking something against the natural order of things, kind
But
of.
if you think about it,
Yeah.
you could be a paladin of vengeance as well. Like
You
imagine
could.
imagine if you're an elf that comes from a forest that was completely destroyed.
Yeah, absolutely. No. I'm not.
You could be a vengeance paladin that was maybe before was an ancient
And
paladin
yeah,
and then turned into a vengeance paladin.
that could work just
because
as
he
easily.
wants to avenge.
I agree with you, like-
his homeland that was destroyed.
Oath of Vengeance is great. I love Oath of Vengeance, and I like the fact that it's the dark version of a paladin. Paladins, typically, when you think about them, they're like the cookie cutter paladin is the Oath of Devotion, like, you know, the good knight in shining armor, the one who always protects the weak and does the good thing, and like, you know.
The Oath of Vengeance put a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be necessarily evil. Like you can have vengeance against, a tyrant.
Exactly.
But yeah, it gives that little bit of gray.
Yes, and it gives you the
Grey Knight.
It gives the DM, as you said earlier, it gives the DM opportunity to present moral conundrums that you will have to choose, and you may not necessarily be very clear on whether it's going to break your oath or not.
Yeah.
And in which case, what do you do? Do you follow your moral compass because it's the right thing to do? Or do you do what you are oath-bound in doing? It kind of creates the same conundrum when you have a warlock in conflict with his patron.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Kind of, yes.
You know, am I willing to
in
forsake...
a different way. In a different way, but yeah, it does.
But, like, do I forsake my power to do the right thing? Or do I do the thing regardless and maintain my power because it can also serve perhaps for the greater good? Like, okay, do I save someone now and not have the ability to save a lot more people in the future? The trolley problem.
Yeah, the trolley.
You know? So I love how we went from...
And also
I love how we went from Paladins to the trolley problem.
The Oath of Vengeance, by the way, is the best paladin to multiclass into Warlock.
I don't disagree with that.
Because you can go,
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Imagine you have imagine a devil pact, and then you get Oath of Vengeance, and you can actually swear your vengeance against the devil that you signed the pact with.
That would be interesting, or it could be that you were seeking vengeance and the power was granted by that.
Yeah, true.
And then suddenly,
Either way.
like, one day they will be collecting. Devils always collect.
Or maybe the vengeance that you act on, like all the people that you kill, their souls go
to the fiend.
To the fiend.
That's interesting.
That's cool. That's a cool idea.
One day we should have an episode of this podcast where you and I just sit down
and create
a character.
Oh my god, Listen,
that is not 2 hours is not enough for that.
I have a master tier subscription on D&D Beyond
Same.
just because I create
Yeah.
characters
Me
on
too.
my free time. So I need infinite slots to
Ooh,
create
I
characters.
know what we should do. I know that we should be doing this like off podcast, you know,
Uh-huh.
but we should have obviously episodes on our homebrew like setting and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
like Yukabai, of course, especially later on. But also like create characters, and we can create both the mechanical aspects and the narrative aspects.
Yeah,
of this.
absolutely. I mean, to
You
be
know?
honest, in my opinion, they
Yeah.
always have to go hand in hand in the sense
They
that
have to.
you have to make sense, especially if you want to do multi-class. You have to make sense.
Yeah,
You can't just throw
exactly.
things together because they
Yes,
work.
yes, absolutely. That's why
You
I
have to
hated multi-class in the past.
Associate a story and a reason why this guy has made a pact with a god and with a fiend.
Absolutely.
you
Like,
know?
look, in my campaigns, and you've played in my campaigns, like, you know that I will allow anything as long as it makes narrative sense.
Yes,
you know?
absolutely.
So
100%.
if you can justify going from Paladin of the Ancients to also being a Warlock Fiend Patron, for example,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
all right, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I've had players in my campaigns who unofficially changed subclasses as a Paladin in the past
Mm-hmm.
because they changed they fulfilled their oath.
Yeah. And then they
And then something happened and they changed it. Now, I'm not saying Oathbreaker. I'm saying, as you're saying, from
like,
Ancients to
literally, like,
Vengeance.
switching from
These, you know, if narratively it makes sense, I'm okay with it.
And
I'm
this is the
going
thing,
to
yeah,
allow it.
I'm not against. Now this goes beyond the discussion that we are having, but if it narratively it makes sense to change your subclass or even your class, because the vision of your character has changed, or the story of your character brought it in a different direction than you thought in the beginning. Like, I had this conversation this week, literally, with a friend of mine, a guy that my best friend, that is playing in one of my games. He started playing this character as an Eldritch Knight fighter, and he wanted to build the character in a certain way, but then we realized that it was overlapping with other players that were playing similar kind of role of what he wanted to do. So in order to accomplish that, I said, hey, listen, you are still gonna be like a melee fighter, but why don't you switch from Eldritch Knight to a College of Swords Bard?
Yeah.
Because you're still gonna be wearing medium armor, still gonna be dexterity based, you're still gonna use a sword, you're still gonna be a spellcaster because the Eldritch Knight casts spells. Simply, instead of going this route, let's go this route because it fits more the kind of character that you want to play.
Exactly.
And it does not overlap as much with other people.
Absolutely,
As long as it makes sense and it makes it more enjoyable for the player and for the dungeon master, for the story that they want to tell together, why not?
Exactly. No, look, that's the best thing about being a DM and the player. Like, the relationship between a DM and the player can never be antagonistic. If you're playing D&D with the DM against the players or vice versa, in my opinion, you're not playing D&D right. Because to me, D&D is about telling the story with the dice enabling you to say so.
Yeah.
You know, that's the way I like to play D&D. I mean, I'm not slighting anyone who just likes to play dungeon crawlers or any that sort of thing. I mean, if that's your way of having fun, you're having fun, right? You know,
exactly.
That's the thing. But the way
D&D doesn't have to be antagonistic.
Exactly.
It cannot be.
If you're playing like the DM versus the players, or like you find a lot of posts online like, how am I going to kill the players? Like, that's not fun.
Obviously, as long as it's a meme.
Yeah.
Like I say every session, I say, how am I gonna kill you today?
Yeah, well,
you know, like in that sense.
Absolutely.
And because I want my player to know that I'm always out to get them. But whenever they want to discuss about something, whenever they have an idea, they have something that, you know,
they can come and create
exactly.
Now, I like playing my campaigns, and I like putting my campaigns forward as like, listen, the campaign, if you play properly and you think about the way you're playing, you're probably not going to die unless you are extremely unlucky.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you die out of sheer spite.
Okay.
Right? I'm not going to go out.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not going to go out of my way to kill you.
No, okay.
That's what I mean.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm not going to go out of my way to kill you, but I will let you die if you're stupid about it.
Yeah, if it happens.
If it happens, or if you're stupid about it. Like,
I know, if you're stupid about it, you deserve to die. Then
you
it's
deserve it. You know?
I'm not gonna. Yeah, as you said, I'm not gonna go out of my way.
Exactly.
But I do
there's
as a
the
player.
danger of dying as a player.
Yeah, I want to feel. I hope not.
You fell on 100 defaults.
No, as a player, I want to feel threatened.
Yeah,
I want to, because
that
otherwise,
spark.
why am I playing?
Yeah, if there's no stakes.
If there is no stakes, exactly, why am I playing? Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to feel that the DM is out there to get me, but in a genuine way, not trick me
it
or
needs to
not.
be deserved.
Exactly.
It needs to be deserved.
Exactly.
That's my whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
listen, you can die if you're either very unlucky
Yeah.
or you're very stupid.
Yeah.
You know, but either, like, if I'm not going to go out of my way to kill you, like, I'm not going to go and mention, like, or bring up, I don't know, like a mind flare at a group of level ones. You know, obviously not. It has, I mean,
Unless you're gonna meet
but
it in 6, 7, 8 level.
exactly.
Yes.
Like, but that's not like the point. Is I'm not going to get something to kill you outright. You know,
Because
that's the thing.
otherwise, why am I even DMing you? Why am I even here?
Yeah.
If I'm not here for you to enjoy and for me
Yes.
to enjoy the story that I create.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
If I'm
because
just here to kill
you
you.
spend so much time and so much hours creating narratives and planning for your campaign, and then for your players to be killed on the first session, and you're like, haha, I killed you. Like, it's all your time wasted and all their time wasted. Like, what's the point of that? Now, of course, we're taking like extremes, but like, we've seen, like, we both follow communities online, and these things actually are genuinely like expressed.
I still see to this day stories like that on Reddit. I don't want to say on a daily base, but on a weekly base, I see stories of saying, hey, my DM just did this, and it's like some fucked up shit to just kill their character. And I'm like,
it's not satisfying.
Why? Like, just And the suggestion that I always give is just, man, find a different group.
Absolutely.
Find a group that matches your energy. Find a group that matches your goals. And go out there and enjoy playing D&D.
Before we conclude today's episode of the podcast, let's briefly touch on your favorite subclass for the sorcerer, because you
the wizard.
The wizard, was it the wizard?
Yes,
I do apologize. Let's go.
Well, and this I would say this is a shared one because I know that you love it as well.
Which one?
Is the Blade Singer.
Oh yes.
As you can see, I love Spellblade. I love characters that can do both melee and magic. Like the cleric can do melee and magic. The paladin obviously can do melee and magic. The bard, I love the College of Swords and the College of Valor, which are both like melee based bards. Even though I said that my favorite is the College of Eloquence, but that's because I love the charming type of bard. But yeah, and the wizard, come on, the Blade Singer is
amazing
good.
because it's such a mold breaker for the cookie cutter kind of wizard that you typically play. So a typical wizard would be lots of spells, lots of range, like no armor, easy,
you're usually
like glass
pretty
cannon
squishy.
kind of thing.
Yeah, you're a glass cannon. You are the glass cannon.
The glass cannon, exactly.
Wizard and sorcerer.
But if you play a Blade Singer, if you play it right, it can be so nice to do narratively and cinematically as well. Like, imagine, like, how do you imagine a Blade Singer to go into battle? What do you envisage?
Okay, first of all, I was, since the very beginning, because now Blade Singer can be of any race.
Yes, before it used to be only an elf.
First to be only a race. I always wanted to play a human
Blade Singer would be interesting.
Because I wanted or a half elf. Half elf, you could play half elf.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I played multiple times a human Blade Singer. Because I wanted to break that stereotype. I wanted like a rogue Blade Singer elf leaving the elf community and teaching blade singing, the art of blade singing
really cool.
to other races.
Yeah.
Like, having like I don't want to say a school, but like having like a master that have like 2-3 students and he's teaching them. Kind of like, because also like Blade Singer is a Jedi.
In a way,
Blade Singer is a Jedi. You can have Charm Person.
Yeah, but come on.
You can have Big B's hand.
Yeah, okay.
Or, to push.
Yeah, I see where you're driving.
Hey, listen. Blade Singer is a Jedi.
The way
so
I
yeah,
see...
my idea was like having this master, because that's how in the Elven society, that's how blade singing works. They're not an army.
No,
it's like a master that takes
they're like specialists
pupils,
kind of,
yes. So I wanted this master to go out of his way for whatever reason, break tradition and teach these.
That can very well be the narrative behind every race now being available as
but that's fantastic.
That's amazing. No,
that's
I
how
agree
it
with
should
you.
be.
I agree with you.
That's
a dwarf blade singer.
dwarf blade singer
Would be really cool to see.
with an axe
with an axe.
or with a hammer.
Well, there's no blade on a hammer, but I get your point.
You know, blade. I mean, it's called blade singer. It does not sing. What about that?
That's the thing about it.
The
because
blade singer does
narratively-
not sing.
I know, but narratively, to me, the blade singer, I take it a little bit narratively, where like now, literally, in the sense that the actual blade,
Mm-hmm.
while he's using it, like vibrates to a certain frequency that like emits this kind of like high pitched song kind of thing. It introduces this kind of edge and eeriness to the
Yes.
blade singer,
Which
almost
is-
like a Warhammer 40k Harlequin kind of thing, where
Uh-huh.
it's like this, like yeah, it's all about the eeriness of the player of the
Uh-huh,
character kind of
okay.
thing, you know. So maybe like or something like
I was
the
thinking-
actual like the actual blade singer going into battle, like ululating kind of
Okay,
thing,
uh-huh,
like the
okay.
Xena kind of, you know, Xena warrior princess kind of thing. Exactly, yeah, going into battle, jumping, you know, jumping in. But yes,
No, I envision it a bit more. I actually
Yeah.
envision it like a Jedi, like, you know, these
Could be.
flowing robes.
Yeah.
And I always imagine it obviously with a light weapon, like with a rapier
Yes,
or something like
absolutely.
that.
A
But
scimitar
I was
maybe,
thinking,
yeah.
you know what I was thinking? Meat Carver from Critical Role,
Uh-huh.
the what are they called? Like the Vestiges of the
yeah,
Divergence,
yeah.
the sword that Scanlan gets.
Yeah.
That's literally a sword that
yeah,
that is like, it has like a hollow blade that
kind of whistles in the
whistles
yeah.
when you swing it. And like that kind of blade for either like an X blade or a swords bard or
Blade singer.
a blade singer. That's a fantastic
fact,
idea for
yeah.
a weapon. And yeah, I envision it like, first of all, I envision it with like a light armor. Because
Yeah.
obviously you're a dexterity based wizard, because
I
you
thi-
use
I think-
dexterity to
yeah.
fight.
Yeah.
So at least in the old version. Now in Unearthed Arcana there is a new version that it might use intelligence
Yeah.
to fight,
But we'll see.
which is cool. Because obviously
Makes it easier.
makes
a
it
little
easier
bit
to build.
Yeah.
But I love the dexterity and intelligence. It's just difficult because obviously you have to have constitution as well. So you
Yeah.
have now 3 stats that you need to.
Or you
be
kind of
good.
it's going to be one of those things where either are durable and difficult to hit but
Yeah.
not very hard hitting, or hard hitting, difficult to hit, but once you get hit you're done for, or
Exactly.
like in between, kind of
Exactly.
like, you know,
So-
you got a lot of health,
Yeah.
easy to hit, but
And his thing is not the whole lot of health, because constitution
because
is also
it's
for
a wizard.
your concentration checks whenever you
Also,
cast a
yeah.
spell.
Yeah,
and then you are in melee, so you're gonna be hit,
Yes, definitely.
and you need to keep concentration.
You need some sort
So-
of you need I think as a blade singer you might need to rely on your equipment a lot more than you would usually do as a wizard.
yes, you might.
You know, ring of concentration and that sort of thing.
Yes, yes.
I think you need that sort
Or
of thing.
even paradoxically, having a band of intellect
Oh yeah, band
to
of
bring your
intellect.
intelligence
Yeah,
up
absolutely.
and focus more on constitution and dexterity.
I
at that
think
point.
I think that's
You know, it's a good medium, but
Yeah.
I love these spell and blade kind of
Yeah.
characters, and obviously the wizard still gives you that incredible library of spells. Like you can
Absolutely.
literally choose. You can make. I would say, I don't want to exaggerate. You can make 5 blade singer and have 5 completely different characters just based on
the spells
the
that you
spell
take.
selection
Yeah,
that you take.
absolutely. I mean, one of my favorite characters that I played, other than Arosavel, of course, was Ravenel. Do you remember Ravenel? Ravenel was an elf blade singer that we played Death House.
which died in that.
Died in the end.
house.
I was so pissed at that death. That was all Jason's fault. Sorry, Jason, I love you, but it was still your fault.
Shout out to Jason.
Yeah. And Jesus Christ, I remember dying against the Shambling Mound.
Yeah,
I was there.
that's a tough.
I
fight.
was dying, and he kept trying to grapple it.
Yeah, I remember. I was not there because I was not playing with you yet.
Not yet, no. I
But I've
remember.
heard this story many times.
Yeah.
I've heard it from you. I've heard it from Paul.
And yet another of my characters died.
Yes. Shout
Rafael
out to
was
Paul
around.
as well.
Paul,
Paul.
Mel.
Oh,
and
Paulo.
Paulo.
Oh, Paulo.
Melissa as well.
Melissa,
and Evelina, of
Evelina.
course.
Yeah, all
And
of
all
you
the-
guys. We love you.
All the OG squad.
The OG Epigeeks.
OG Epigeeks.
But yeah, I
But
have
yeah.
heard that story.
Yeah.
And I felt sorry for you just because the blade singer
He did
as-
not deserve to
in
die.
the first few levels is a tough.
Yes.
It's
I think we
tough
played at
to be
level
a-
5, I think.
Uh,
I think 5 or something.
I don't know.
like
It might, technically, Death House is from level 1 to 3, so it might be you were playing at level
that.
3.
It could be that we played
Level 5, you're a bit over
But I think-
leveled.
Yeah, I think level 3, I think it was.
Because that's what I
then.
was saying. Shambling Mound, I think is CR5
Yeah,
or
yeah,
CR6.
it was level 3.
So it's a tough
I
battle
still
for a
have the
group of level
character.
3.
I can't.
It's
I
not
can
an
actually check on.
easy.
I still have the character on D&D Beyond. It's very easy for me to check.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not a Shambling Mound at the end of the Death House is not an easy fight, especially after all you went through in that house. Getting
Including
there,
getting possessed. Ravina got possessed
Yeah.
at the point. But anyway, like that's a story for another
but
time. Perhaps.
Blade Singer is again one of my favorites.
So yeah.
If I have to choose one
of them,
my final choice, I don't know, guys.
why don't you let us know out of the choices for Peppe?
Yes,
That
which one
he's,
would you choose? Would you choose a
yeah.
Bard? Let's say Bard,
College of
Eloquence.
We had a Cleric, Twilight Domain in your
Twilight
case.
Domain Cleric,
We had the Paladin,
Out of
Vengeance,
Vengeance,
and the Blade
and the
Singer.
Blade Singer Wizard. Which one would you choose of these four and why?
And let us know. So thank you so much for watching. I think this. I think we need to actually conclude this episode.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I'm having so much
gone
fun
through
about this. Thank you
a
so
lot.
much. Yes, thank you so much. Obviously, to you guys for watching. Thank you so much to Jade for being obviously behind.
Shout out to Jade as always. There in the
camera.
background, yes.
Yes,
Taking care of us.
Just for the audience to know, like for us to keep track of time, she writes in permanent marker, like
On her hand.
1 hour, and she shows me behind the camera.
Need like a mini whiteboard.
Yes, we'll get her. We'll get her a mini
get her-
whiteboard. We'll get
yeah.
her a mini whiteboard.
Yes.
She
She earned it. She deserved it. She deserves it.
Yeah, she just said otherwise us guys would never shut up, which is very factual. Very factual, man.
is
So I meant to say very fucking factual. It is.
It is. Anyway, thank you for sticking with us until the end.
And we'll see you next time for sure.
Please like, subscribe to the channel, comment, send it to your friends, send it to your mama, send it to...
Tell her about the Robbie Damon impression.
Madonna. I was hoping we would go one episode. We would go through one episode without mentioning
That's going to be
that.
the meme every episode.
But okay, sure.
With Robbie Damon impersonator. He can come to your birthday party as Robbie Damon if you like. You can hire him to be Robbie Damon.
I'm sorry. I know it's not true. I am aware that he's just making fun of me, but he likes to do that. So.
No, we pick on each other. That's how we have fun. He pays me back whenever I DM any game for him. So, it's all in good fun.
Yes.
Anyway, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. We hope that you had fun. You can take care. And keep being the epicest of geeks. We'll see you next time.
Be an
Bye-bye.
Epigeeks.